Jai Sitaram once again, and a warm welcome, Swagatam, to all of you, and to our Vyasji, a warm welcome again on this Purnima day. We here at Sri Durga Kali Mandir are very blessed to have you on this special day, to have you share your discourse with us. And so as we are here for we seems like we can't even begin to count because it's coming to an end. As the days have been going by, we felt that we are really in a completely different atmosphere. We come here, we forget that we have jobs, we forget that we have challenging situations, because your discourse just fill our hearts with so much calm and serenity that we cannot wait to hear from you again. And with your lovely wife, we want to thank both of you for being here. So without much ado, Pinichi, on this special auspicious day, it is our joy to have you with us, and I hand you over to your congregation. God bless.
Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. Sitaram everybody.
Sitaram.
At this time, we're getting ready to wave the light and welcome Mother. Today is Guru Purnima, Purnima meaning full moon. On this day started off, yes, we celebrate our Pandit, our house Pandit, our Diksha Guru, but this day started off with the celebrating of this person that is narrating our text, Vyas Muni. He is considered to be a part incarnation of Lord Seva. He's considered to be somebody that has great drishti, vision, that at a great distance he could see what is happening. He could see what had happened in the past, and he sees, like if you go into the text called the Kalika Upapuran, see future events. So this is where people will hear about what Kali Yuga will become, what the hard times will be like, what would mankind look like. How, for example, it was predicted in the Hindu faith that man's lifespan, for example, would shorten as time goes by. That things like genetic disorder or the blood that you come with would start to change, causing birth defects more and more as time is passing. It was this person who gave these different types of teachings so that the person knows how to preempt the trouble. You see trouble, there's something I could do. And tonight, this to-do point is what we're going to talk about. People like to banter about the word called karma. When things happen, well, Pandit, what are you going to do? That's my karma. Maybe it was my karma to go through the divorce, or the pain, or the debt, or whatever it is. Nonetheless, when you're going through it, it's very difficult. And depending on the individual, if you are not strong, that event could break your belief system in God. There are many people, when they're going through their trial and their test, ask, how could God allow this to happen to me? So tonight we have to be proactive, and we're going to talk about how to fix things. Fix things where you take control of your destiny. Because we have a huge puja coming up this weekend. You're going to do Karagam and all the necessary rites. But sometimes we don't put that opportunity into perspective. God has given us the opportunity to have a temple that facilitates this worship. For the older, more senior people here, what about a time when America did not have temples like this? When there was no avenue or venue to do your worship? Then we had a problem. Today we have avenues, we have places to go, so that you could see and value your opportunity of getting to do worship like this. And the purpose of this discourse is to appreciate and how to do it better and better and better. So that when karma does rear its head in your life in a negative way, you can fix it. Because there is one belief that people say, well, it's my karma upon it, as I said before, as if somebody else is in charge. The Patra is written, it's cast in stone, when truth and in fact it's there to change your destiny. At the very beginning, at the onset of our discourse, I want to ask you this. Do you understand what horoscope Patra is? Do you understand why it was created? So, okay, in Hinduism, we arti all the books, Ramayana, Gita, Bhagavad, Mahabharata, everything. How come we don't arti the Patra book? These are great books that foretell, your story. Ganesh Baba, in one of the pages in the 100 years Patra, you will see Bhairav Baba speaking to Durga Mata, and she's asking, please, on behalf of my children, give us the guidance. The birth chart comes from that conversation. This is where you will hear people talk about, I have Kal Sarap Dosh, I have Mangal Dosh, I am predestined to get divorced, and I'm not going to have an easy time in marriage. The planet Mangal or Mars is not in my favor, and it causes problems. This is where that is coming. Who is talking? Lord Shiva is talking to Durga Mata about their children, you and I. Some people have it bad, some people have it easy. What is causing the difference? Karma. Tonight, as we get into it, if this is the first time you are hearing some of these things, please remember that when you sit, there's a purpose for these things. As we say, when you open book, when you read it, when you get into your horoscope, there's a reason for it. Not just, oh, well, the book say I'm going to get into a bad accident this year. And you sit now depressed because an accident is coming, or so it says in the book. This evening we are going to discuss this idea, this concept of the Devi Yajna a little more. The person who is listening was talking last night, and he listened. You know how we talk. Your woman do the prayers, Pandit. Anybody ever do it before? Yes, I did it with the guy up the road, and he was able to get success. So you do it too, and that success will follow you. Last night discourse is basically that. He's trying to prove to the guy listening, listen, somebody did it. The guy didn't even say the mantra. He was a very unlucky person because of the shrap. All he says is, hey, not aim. Hey, halfway mantra, halfway pronounce. Haven't you heard somebody tell a child maybe, or somebody, you're not saying the prayers properly, you're not going to get the output, you're not going to get the reward. But the concept of Devi worship is different. If your heart is in the right place. Because we are all strangers to Sanskrit and Hindi language. It is not our mother tongue. People make mistakes. Unless we are taught how to do what we have to do, we can make mistakes. Our mind could stray. But in Devi worship, it's a little different in terms of how it works, in terms of your intention. And this is why, if God is God, God did not take only male form. There's a difference between male and female. We spoke about this the first night. In terms of the hardships the lady goes through in her life compared to the male. They are both parents, just to rehash the point. They are both parents, but the guy doesn't have any pain. But the lady, she undergoes a lot of physical pain. To be called equally, mommy, daddy, parents. And there are other points, puberty, menopause, etc., like that. But the lady has an inherent ability to forgive, especially with children. A different level of tolerance exists within the heart of a woman, generally speaking. And in our discourse tonight, you'll hear it. Everybody, let's all stand as we're about to do Arti. Let's do it correct. Put your hands together to your chest with that posture as you offer your 5 sense organs and your 5 actions. Close your eyes. Humbly dip your head forward. This is your mother you come to meet. This is your time with her. This is your understanding is going to improve. Ma, simply put, thank you for allowing me to reach. Bless me to learn something here tonight. Sajam cha vardizanyuktam Grahina yojitam ayam Deepam Grihana Devesham Trailokya Timirapaham.
जग जननी जय जय ओ मां जग जननी जय जय भयहारिणी भवतारिणी भवभामिनी जय जय ओ जग जननी जय जय भयहारिणी भवतारिणी भवभामिनी जय जय ओ जग जननी जय जय सतचित शोक में शुर ब्रह्मा रूपा तू ही सतचित शोक में शुर ब्रह्मा रूपा साज सनातन सुंदर पर शिव सुर भूपा मैया ओ पर शिव सुर भूपा ओ जग जननी जय जय ओ मां जग जननी जय जय भयहारिणी भवतारिणी भवभामिनी जय जय ओ जग जननी जय जय मैया ओ आज आनंद राशि ओ जग जननी जय जय ओ मां जग जननी जय जय भयहारिणी भवतारिणी भवभामिनी जय जय ओ जग जननी जय जय ओ मां जग जननी जय जय भयहारिणी भवतारिणी भवभामिनी जय जय ओ जग जननी जय जय मैया ओ हर शंकर कारी ओ जग जननी जय जय ओ मां जग जननी जय जय भयहारिणी भवतारिणी भवभामिनी जय जय ओ जग जननी जय जय ओ मां
गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपेतजम्बो फलचारुभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारकम् नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजम् सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बिके गौरी नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय। 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
Prem Sulamavati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Devotees, please make yourself comfortable. Sitaram, everybody. With the limited time that we have for this yagya, there's only so much we could discuss. But we make the best with the time that we have. Coming up from our first night discussing in this book 3 of Devi Bhagavad, we've heard about the creation, we've heard about the Mahatyam, with the rules of doing this type of Devi worship. Last night in our discourse, Guruji tells to Jan Vijay, the person is listening, he says, after hearing how this young child just said, ay, ay, when he saw the bow, which is part, if you understand the Hindi writing, it is part of aim. It leaves off the mouth. But he still gets the wisdom that Saraswati Mata grants, for example. That if you should approach this form, even if you don't understand fully, you will be able to get the darshan of Mother. That it is possible that a person that does not have the knowledge of the Dharma goes to Mother and begs, and this person is able to realize their wishes, their aspirations, their dreams. So he says, Jan Vijay, your father, Parikshit, that's the guy who listened to Bhagavad Puran, he became polluted, he became corrupted from the kind of nice person that he once was. In a moment he feels that he is this big king and he did so much of prayers and he had done so much of charity. His grandfather is Arjun, he is so great. And he went to meet this Brahman, this Pandit, and he couldn't wait fast enough. So he went and he slapped the guy. Oh, I'm talking to you, the king. I am the king, I am very rich, get up. And in that moment now, angers the individual who was in depth in his prayers. And he says, 7 days from now, a snake is going to bite you and you're going to die. So when Parikshit dies because of the snake bite, as I said before, Jan Vijay goes on a rant, killing snakes. And he wants to now, after he catches himself, the good advice of his guru, he wants to atone. He wants to come out of that. He wants to ask for forgiveness. But remember, this is karma we're talking about. So the concept that many people have is karma is permanent. It cannot be changed. It's written in the Patra book, you're going to die, well that's it, you're dead. Let me go through that a little bit before we go into our discourse tonight. The history of the Patra book. There are 7 rishis that Brahma creates in order to propagate mankind, animal kingdom, etc. 2 of them, Garga and Parashar, go to Lakshmi Mata and say, Mother, we have compiled, and I'm summarizing for everybody, we have compiled the science of professing future activity. We have compiled the art of checking your last life, previous birth, janam, etc. The idea of studying marks upon your body. Guru Puran says there's a reason that people are born with imperfection. In Christianity, we hear the term that man is made in God's image. Perfection, good. So where was God when the child was born blind, dumb, autistic? Where is God when somebody is starving, hungry? How could a God allow these type of hurtful events to happen? So in Guru Puran he says, because of your karma, things are going to happen to you. But I put little marks on your body so that it will jog your memory and you will know what type of prayer to engage in. So for example, a person, off the top of my head, a person who burns land that belongs to somebody else, a person who lights fire to something, in your next life, you're going to develop baldness. You're going to lose the hair on your head. That is what that sign, that is what that represents, that in your last life you did that. When a person cannot speak, they have a lisp, not to make light of the matter, but they have a lisp or they stutter when they speak. That person has gone to court and they told lies. When a person is hearing impaired, they love to listen to gossip. So in your next life, don't worry, it will work. You like to watch people business, and you know, if they did so much, you like to say they did so much, tell tales. Don't worry, in your next life, these will not work. So it is not that God is making you as if it were handicapped or specially able. Your karma is doing that to you. And he's putting marks on your body. Whoa, if you feed a black dog on a Monday and you have a list, you're asking for forgiveness. So there are ways, like when we were talking about the Pradosh Vrat, there are ways to overcome this problem. A person is born with diabetes and they have diabetes bad. The first time we said, if you give water in charity, thirsty people, you give them, hand them the water. You may not own the water, it might be in the temple here, but you get to serve the water to the guests. Giving water conquers and trumps diabetes. The same water that is causing the foot to swell and causes the person to lose the foot, give it in charity and you will see you'll overcome that problem. So they're listening and the Lakshmi Mata is watching them. Wow. Arti done, tell them all that. Take off that phone.
I know how to use the soundtrack to help
Where was it? So Garg and Parashad tell her, dear mother, we've combined in this book what makes a person's head big, what makes a person heirloom. How do you know? If you listen to Ramayana, you will hear when Kaushalya had Ram in her hand, she saw positive marks. What are the marks? They look at the paws to see if, when a child now born, the little here, the little baby here, watch from one paw, and you will see sometimes 2 strands of hair or 3 strands of hair. It makes a difference about the person's temper. When, you know, when people say, local word, they have goat mouth. What is goat mouth? Open the child tongue or the person tongue and watch on the side. If it's discolored, when they speak, it tends to happen. Careful with them. Don't get them angry. When you know what I'm talking about? When the boy going to marry and the big toe shorter than the next toe. What I mean again? Overruling. So you just have to pray for that second toe to balance off. I wouldn't even say one longer than the other. In this text now, so they're telling Lakshmi Mata, mother, we compile all this information. So any person that wants to know what the mark mean on their body, they will know. They will know what to expect. The child now born, and they will know if it's going to have high temper, short lifespan, premature death, if it will cause, like if the child born in bad time, the father life in trouble, hence Mool Shanti Puja have to do. They will know all these things. That's not a smile. Say, ma, further, we've studied the art of palmistry. When in your, this is my right hand, between the first mark here and the base of your finger, these 2 lines indicative of how many children you were supposed to have. So different lines on your hand is a solid thing, but people is do all kind of shortcut. The correct way to read your palm, you have to put your hand in ink and make a map plot, and then read it like a map. That whole science is there. The science of moles. Moles. If, for example, a boy child is born, all respect, and on his private area there's a mole, he will become very lusty at a young age. And you have to let that child feed bird, and that you'll control that. Otherwise, you'll have a problem. This is where some people become perverted. They could, become a miscreant. You could have problems with the law, etc. At the time of birth, you could know all these things and you could fix it. So they say, mother, it's so nice if you ordain, if you authorize this book, if you touch this book, this will be able to help people so much. And she continues to smile. And she says, Parashad went on to tell her, moles, the study of dream. When you dream muddy water, what that mean? Sickness. Right? Where did that come from? That came from a book called the Shakun Sastra. This is what we're talking about. That if I dream, for example, people marrying, or I dream somebody's tooth falling out or pulling out, whatsoever, look out, somebody going to die. All these imageries and what they mean is listed in this book. And it have other parts. For example, what we call Jyotis, which Hanuman Baba elucidate in one of the Ramayana, not Tulsidas Ramayana. He comes back when, this is when he carried the gem for Sita Mata, and he comes back, he says, Sri Ram, I have developed something called Hanuman Jyotis. And if you ask, the page looks like a wheel, a chakra, and there are different numbers on it. So let's say I want to know, should I marry this girl, is the question. And you're passing your hand on the chakra and you're saying the mantra, and where your hand stops, that's your answer. Yes, no, maybe, not now, later on, etc. Sri Ram ordains Jyotis. So when you hear people say he's a Jyotishi, it means the person mastered Jyotis, the art of reading that. So Parashad and Garg are waiting for Mother to say something. Mother is not saying anything, and she says at the end of it, my children don't need this. They will pray and they will overcome it. So they did not get the blessing they wanted. She turned them back. For this reason, people do not arati the Patra book. Garg and Parashad went on to still make the Patra. Of all the Saptarishi, they still persevered. And if you take up a copy of the Bhavani Shankar, which is the red and white one, you will see inside there are many things that you look at. So for example, it guides in the Patra about doing prayer in the correct time. Today is this thing called Guru's Day or Guru Purnima. But the catch is, many people don't even know what Guru means. If I were to ask you, I'm not a Hindu, auntie, uncle, could you tell me what Guru means? Somebody will say Godfather. And that is a misconception. The word Gu, the first part of that Sanskrit term, Gu means darkness, ignorance. I really don't know. I'm totally lost. I don't know why a phone keeps ringing in my satsang. It's distracted. God, please help everybody to put it on silent. Gu means ignorance. You don't know. Ru means the light. Imagine in a dark room and somebody brings a flashlight and says, this is the way out. A guru is a person that teaches you what you don't know or what you need to know, not necessarily what you want to know. Believe me, sitting here, I could have read Durga Mata fight, and we could have had some very nice bhajans, and we'd have been going down the road, but you would have learned absolutely nothing. The problem with that approach is it's entertaining, but you don't grow spiritually. There are different types of guru. So you know very well your Diksha Guru. What is Diksha Guru? Anybody? Diksha, you hear that word before? Yeah. The one who gave you Guru Mantra or Diksha. Diksha is the protective energy that this mantra gives you. So he whispers it in your ears to represent that the mantra is internal, and it comes with some rules that your Guru Mantra, yes, we know, don't give it away, say it mental, mana spirit. That is the critical one. What happens if I tell somebody, son, my Guru Mantra is Om Namah Shivaya? Absolutely nothing. But when you say it out aloud, Om Namah Shivaya, you lose the potency. You want that when you say it mentally, it remains internally and gives you the aura that you are looking for. Prior to the moment of getting that Diksha, a child has to sit with parents to do prayer. They are not guarded. They are not protected spiritually from the onslaught or the attack of roaming soul spirits that might attack you when you're doing your prayer. When you sit to do prayer, you would not believe how much protection is really given to the person sitting for the prayer, so that they get through with the prayer and nothing interrupts them halfway in the prayers. This is why we sit on stuff, we put rings, we put chandan, mauli on the hand, etc. And certain mantras are chanted to protect the person. So we understand Diksha. Are there any other types of guru? Siksha guru. What is Siksha guru? Give me an idea. Come. What is Siksha guru? Equivalent of Vidya guru. School teacher. Yeah. Secular knowledge. The man who teaches me how to play drum. The lady who teaches me how to cook food. Siksha, Vidya guru, knowledge. Non-religious stuff. But then I hear Lord Shiva is called Jagat Guru. You hear that a lot in your bhajans. Jagat Guru. Jagat means world Guru. So this is a case where maybe I've lost my parents, I've lost my biological Diksha Guru, he died, or what, we are at a distance. Who am I supposed to go to? Lord Shiva is that Guru. So if today I'm sitting here, I've reached an age where that Guru has long gone, Guru Purnima is a day for you to worship Lord Shiva. You still have that over you. You still have that form of Guru over you. And the reason why I'm taking the time to explain it this way rather than sing and chant Arti di Baba and Arti di Baba like we normally do. Children need to understand the Pandit has a role, yes, but when the drummer sits as a teacher, when the organist sits as a teacher, when the person who does the puja in the temple as a teacher, those people deserve respect too. The school teacher now, for every elder here, a school teacher was somebody who worshiped like God long time. But now, there is a hired babysitter. I palm off my children on them from 8 to 4. Thank God. And that's their role. If it was some token of appreciation, because these people are literally molding your children. These are the people that you're exposing your children sometimes more than yourself to them. But these people are not respected or shown any form of gratitude. But in our Dharma, it says worship the Guru. It says worship, not say thank you, worship these people. But we do not teach our children to say, Guruji, you teach them today, thank you. In the temple here, we need to start to have cooking classes. We need to start to train, what we was talking about, doing the jarring for the jhanas. Get 5 children and start to teach them how to be now, how to be sadhu, not necessarily pandit. But there's a need. So long as there are women with wombs that drop, you will need people to know how to rub. Why is our people feeling our people? Understand what I say? When you're in trouble, when you have a child, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it is bawling in pain, who do you call? 911. If 911 could help us with Malju, that would be a great deed. The child's sick, you know the child's sick, everybody know about that. But tell me what a doctor describes Malju as, other than negative or bad eye, however you call it. Your prayers is the only thing I can save you there. But if you don't know the prayers, what you're going to do? If your society becomes so forgetful that everything that we hold near and there is lost, what is your society? What is your culture? What is your dharma becoming? Home, I mean, the ashram, we have classes, we have Hindi, Sanskrit, Ramayana class, Chalisa class, explaining word to word. And I do it online, so wherever you live, you can join. But you also have a time to teach them how to make mala, how to cook, the little things that you take for granted as adults. Because what we do now, we depend on YouTube, how to make puri. YouTube it. But unless you know, unless you know how to get the final outcome, how to take it out of the pot, you might have a problem. Because I'm not sure if it cooked or not. In this way, Parashar and Garg go at a distance with this book, and it is placed there for a reason. You read these things to know how to fix your problem. The purpose of Patra is not to hear a story. It is not to hear you will die when you are 65 years old. Or to hear in your last life you was a horse grazing on a field, or you was a bandit that used to rob people parasad, and this is why in this life your teeth is jagged or discolored. Because it have explanation for all that. Why you only make girl children or vice versa? Why can't you make children, etc.? It tells you exactly why. So in this life now, you learn something called praschit karma. Praschit karma is what we are going to discuss now. Praschit karma, we have heard in the beginning about Paragda karma when we were doing the Pitri Puja. Paragda karma, just to review, is what says from your last life coming into this life, I'll make you a mother, I'll make you a wife, God, I'll make you a sister. Luckily, you'll have a brother. You will get to have children. You will have a good job with good medical. You will live in an area where you're close to family or not. You will have good family. They will care for you or not. Everything that you are is Paragda karma. God framed it that way. Praschit karma is when there is bad happening in your life and we want to repent for that. We want to get out of that sin. One example, we spoke the first night about Gayatri Mantra. Every time you say Gayatri Mantra, you're asking for the sin of 24 hours to burn away. There is no stronger mantra than that. So your children having nightmares, because one like me, anywhere I go, if it have a dead house, she don't like to hear I'm going to read in dead house, tell you the truth. Because when I come home and I go on that bed, I will fight warfare. I will get up in the night, one night we were sleeping, just to build the keys. Because it happens to everybody. When you are prone for things to follow you, I get up 3 o'clock in the morning, jump off the bed, bright, normal. She's 2 hours away. Open the front door, take out all the blanket, all the pillow, everything, because in my mind, I am seeing snakes in the bed. And I'm sound asleep. So when your children have problems, I start to throw everything outside by the bed. When you start to have trouble like that, children bawling, screaming, having nightmares, they're afraid to go in your room, they're telling you something happening, for example, or you're seeing or you're hearing things, what to do? You could use incense, you could use mopping, you could use gobar, but Gayatri. Gayatri is an example. When I talked last night about Bhoot Suddhi, where they sprinkle in the water, that is an example of you doing it for yourself. So that the purity, the purification could come back where something else came to upset the balance. Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Mata ki jai. Praschit karma is when you are asking for forgiveness. So for example, okay, I'll talk about going to read it in the dead house. Dead house, what I mean, somebody's funeral is done, the 10 days is coming. So the interim, where you're sitting to read in the night. So in that now, the procedure for Pandit, when they go home, is to make sure have your shower outside. Don't do that inside the house. And change the janu on your chest. You're not supposed to reuse this janu when you go, for example, in these places where you have death or where a child now born. If you don't do it, you remain unclean, and then tomorrow you have to get up and do people prayers. When you go now into the dead house, I don't know if I'm going to say this here, because this will be the thing everybody will remember. When you go to a wake house, do you eat? This is not Devi Gyan, but trust me, very important. Yeah? Oh, it have pricks. Oh, it have tea. It have bread. Come now, here so and so has something. We go. Not to take home. The rule is wherever it is unclean, you are not family. If you are family, it's different. You are affected by the death. One brother, next brother, house next door, all are we unclean. Chutti har. Right? This is not that. This is if we are. My neighbor up the road had something, somebody died, and I want to go and lend support by showing my face, just to be clear. The host job is to say, we have a little sweet bread, for example, do you want peace? That's their job. You come to their home, so they are doing their duty. The rule for Hindu is, when it is unclean, you do not eat. When you eat in unclean places, and I'm quoting from Prit Manjali Garpra, you are acting as if you are a scavenger. These people lost somebody. No, don't go hungry. I'll tell you why. These people have lost somebody and they are grieving. This is not a normal moment. If they invite you for a get together, that's different. outside death. Death is different. When you go carry a bag of bread, carry a stick of butter or a case of water, help lift them. Is that blessing in that? Lift them.
Yes.
That is better. But when you go as me and my friends, I'm using myself, me and my friends in the black quarter here, hey, Pundit, the sharing good thing of the road, but let me go and see where we can get. And motivated by that we go and ravish, we eat. In your next life, every action has a reaction. In your next life, you are born as a dog that is not loved, is not cared for, but scavenge garbage. Have you ever seen a stray dog that is treated like a hateful, hated, thrown away animal? Where was God when that animal was made? Where was God when that creature has to die side the road? Nobody never loved him. But somehow there are dogs that wear necklace, were made with diamond, that live better than me and you. So it's not that species alone, is something about that animal did something. So in this case, when you eat in dead house, I'm saying dead house, everybody understand me? Or unclean place. This is why we talk about in Trinidad, I don't know how you all do it here, but in Trinidad people have an affiliation that love to carry food where somebody cremating is like a nice little bonfire, I guess, and they just can't help but eat. Knowing these type of discourse, it's not the first time I'm saying it, but it's going to cause trouble in your life. When trouble comes, you want to know, what did I do? This is an example of something that you would do or could do or have done, and you're just not aware that this is going to bring bad to me. When I was younger, I think the first time I read in such a scenario, I was about 12. So as I said the first night, when you're going to read, it have rules. For example, whatever you've eaten every night, the temple, because of how I am eating, was lettuce, cucumber, and yogurt every night. For this day, I haven't eaten food yet, because when you're doing this type of prayers, you have to try and do it the right way. You don't eat mustard oil and this type of thing. But in those days, I was 12, and the aunties and the tanties, somehow they know more than everybody else. Pandit, shut up, we make alpha, you have to eat it, you're not going home. And I was forced to eat. I had to eat because I want to tell my mother and I'll get in trouble. So it happened, so how do you get out of this sin? I'm using myself as an example so you could apply the knowledge. Prashchit Karma, Garg Puran and Shipuran tell you, when you eat in an unclean place, get up the next morning, go find a dog. Watch how easy, not prayers, not puja. I don't want to become the dog. Get up the next morning, find a dog and feed the dog. Doesn't say how much or what recipe, feed the dog. This is why when you have Shroud and you take out the 5 share food, one goes for a dumb animal. Traditionally, back home, Guyana or Trinidad, you would have said a cow. But because of the masala and these recipes that we tend to cook, you can't give a cow that. So people give it to a dog. And in it, you get the blessing. So these rituals are there to change your karma. Sometimes you make mistakes in this life, like in the example I'm saying here. Sometimes because of marks on our body, weaknesses in our body, your child has epilepsy. In his past life, he spit on the teacher. The child has schizophrenia and the child is very pitiful. I'm not saying it's a nice thing, but if God is God, how did God create people with mental problems? Please think. They did something. What did they do? When a child feels they know more than their mother and father and they ill speak down to them, belittle them. You so stupid, I born from you. Don't worry, in your next life you're Gyan. Your brain could work so that you could use words to cut this mother of yours. Alright, in your next life, this ain't going to work properly. You're going to look normal, but you're going to be normal. When you have sin, when you have problems from your last life, Pandit, I have a godson, for example, child born, all features, 10 fingers, 10 toes. But where the brain is supposed to be in the body, there's a big balloon of fluid. There's no brain. The child is roughly 15 years old now. Child has never opened his eyes, never said ma. Till this day, mother and father lift that like a baby. Toilet, diapers, you name it. And the mother and father in that case, Pandit, is their praise that we could do to ask forgiveness, whatever he did in his last life, so that this child does not have this type of existence again. Could you imagine having a baby and not one day hear that child calling him? Not one day get a hug, mommy, I love you. A Mother's Day card, a Christmas card, buy a gift for the child. Dad, I really like the gift. I thought when we get pregnant, we were going to become parents, and we had so much of hope and hope and hope, and then you didn't have any. Wow, that could really break somebody. Not everybody would be like this mother in this example and say, teach me more praise. What kind of person are you? When God put tests in your life like this, sometimes we don't think about I did something. We think God did that. God is God and God allowed that to happen. But when bad things are happening, let's just say in the house, the divorce brewing, simmering, before it go too far, find out what you could do. For example, somebody has to go for a surgery, find out what prayer could fix that problem. That different is called. But this is why you have your guru to sit down and find out. Let's enter. As John B. Jai says, I understand what you said. My father made a mistake. He insulted the Pandit, and then the snake bite him, and I really make more mistake because I kill all the snake. And I want to atone for it. What to do? He says, I already told you, go and worship the Devi. Do Devi Yagna. Do the puja in the correct way, and you will get it. He says, describe this Yagna for me. I want to hear it now already. Start to talk. In this anxious tune, John B. Jai wants to hear. Let's hear what he says in this discourse. Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Deva Gyan. Vyas Muni says, I am going to tell you how to do Devi Yagna. And the action is broken up into 3 types of yagna. He says there are 3 ways you could do that same yagna, you know. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. And if you do Sattvic puja, you'll be able to get the highest caliber of output, punyam, blessing, merit from that prayer. Whereas if you do tamasic prayer, it will be of credit. You'll get some blessing, but there's not plenty. He says the wise people know how to carry themselves in prayer. Yagya, that is sattvic, oh Jan Vijay, this is performed in holy places. That is protected by prayer. Material is collected that is earned rightfully. This is not stolen or outsmarted material. We beg, mange big. You go, we having prayers. Would you like to help? Would you like to join? Would you like to sit? With that attitude. In that way, the offering that is going to be done, it will be of a higher caliber. When the mantras are the appropriate mantras, when the Sotriya or the person who sits, what we call the Purohit, is calm, a faithful person who has faith in what he's doing, not doubting the prayer, then this prayer is called Sattvic. When all the articles are purified by mantras, right type of action and preparation, meaning the person who is the Shrota prepares themselves not only in their diet is one part, one aspect, but also their mind, the celibacy, the type of behavior. How do you fast in your mind? You know, the first night when we were talking about how do you do yoga, I said sleep on the ground. I remember years ago I said that. I was reading Garpran Yoga and I said if you are doing the Pinda Dan, you have to sleep on the ground. So the boy said, oh, look on it backward. Nowadays we have all these sleep number bed and all these different technological beds, so much of comfort. Why am I sleeping on the ground? That is so backward and stupid. You see, you all are lost in tradition. So that could be true. But the reason, if you just wanted to know the reason for sleeping on the ground before you talk like a fool, if you get yourself into a funeral type situation, there's usually no warning. So in your fridge has all types of corpse. Everybody understand that? Cretans live in your fridge. You were planning on having barbecue this weekend, but somebody dies now. So you're in prayers immediately. I have to fast. When the person is not mentally prepared to fast, but you have to fast not only from meat, but from salt, roots, shoots. It is a very stringent fast for that 10 days. Why are you fasting? Not for the dead. After the funeral, the person who burns the body of the mother and the father, they taught the sin of burning that free. This is why you fast for 10 days, and on the 10th day, what we call the bar or the shaving, you are shaving the head, cutting the nails to say, I am now purified of this sin. I do not want this sin on my back. Your mother, you couldn't hit she a slap when she was living. Don't feel when she dead, you could do it too. This is why the fasting is done. Not for the dead. The dead has earned their karma already. When the bandara is done, that is done for that person. So the person is fasting and they are griping. God is not only fasting from meat and liquor now, not only that, but we also have to fast from food. First 2 days, you might still be in funeral mode. Your mind might still be on that debt, that loss, so you get through. But around day 4, day 5, day 6, it starts to hit the person, especially if they're not accustomed fasting. When you cannot get the food in the daytime, when you go to sleep in the comfort bed, and you get rapid eye movement, REM sleep, deep sleep, you will start to see yourself, Jai Jagadish Hare, and you line up in KFC and you're going for Parsad. Swami, what you are craving, you will see yourself go for it. Married people, husband had to fast from wife, different type of person. But you will break your fast. So the logic is, you're sleeping on the ground to get the rest, but not to get so comfortable that you will dream breaking your fast. You wouldn't be able to get rapid eye movement sleep if you sleep on the ground. For this reason, if a person goes like this child who is planning to go to the ashram to further studies, and all the people that go to these places in India, they put you to sleep on the ground. This is why in our dharma people sit on the ground, to make the contact with the earth and to maintain that type of fast, that your body is not so comfortable that your mind will float to other places. In this type of preparation, Ojan Vijay, this is the perfect type of preparation where the person fasts with their mind, their mouth, meaning they talk truthfulness. We spoke about being truthful with Satya Bharat last night. then the person is ready to do the puja. So let us put it in context. You're talking about doing kargam, coming to big puja. Are you ready? Mother is ready. She will be ready. The parsad, have no doubt that parsad is ready. What you and I do, we fret. Pandit, I didn't have white sugar, I put brown sugar. Pandit, I didn't have white rice, I put brown rice. As if that is less than. We focus on the if you don't put the puri, mother is not going to like you. You hear people talk like that. I have been to prayers where the mother quarreling with the daughter. How you so stupid, girl? You have prayers for Durga and you make sweet rice or the lapsi or the whatever. But nobody says you're telling tales. You are lying and you have Durga prayers coming up. Nobody talks about that. In this yagna that is being offered, if truthfulness is present, there is no doubt that it will yield the result you are looking for. However, if the yagna is performed with articles that are not rightfully earned, there is no fame, there is no benefit, there is no reward here on the next life. You will be doing yagna, you are present, but the reward is very meager. It is necessary to perform these type of yagna with articles that are rightfully earned. And then the people who receive, let's say the prasad. What is prasad? I try to go through words for that, or I could remember the meaning. I just beat about and I go to prayer and I get prasad. The correct word is prasad. Prasad. What is prasad? Is prasad the flour recipe we call mahanbog? Yes? Alright. So could barfi be prasad?
No.
Yes.
Prasad is the food that you offer.
Is this prasad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Prasad by definition is anything that God touch. That is what it means. It could be, I have here cucumber, mango, fig, mahanbog, jalebi, all is prasad. Prasad, to be honest, for Devi Puja during the Naratam, orange, lemon, lime, any type of tangerine, any citrus product. Anything you offer, chawal, when you patch the rice, when Sudama hid the rice from Krishna, that was prasad. And that is just rice patch. No sweet, no sugar, no nothing in it. But God touched it. You said Krishna Arpan and you offer it and he touched it like that, meaning it is infused by his power. How does that infusion happen? You do it when you have prayers. Did you ever ask? I know Pujari will quarrel with me and say make sure and shine the Bharatan, shine the Tarya. Why is the Tarya made from this metal? Why is it important to use this rather than plastic wares? Because we offer it this way and we make the contact to pull the electrical energy from the murti into the food stuff that you're offering, what we call prasad. This is why we just make the contact to pull the energy. You are 100%, you are the source, and I am 1%. I need a little upliftment. Please give me some, in simple language, that we do it with children. That is why we bow to the earth, we touch the tulsi plant, etc. But if the prasad that you are offering is stolen mangoes from the neighbor tree, for example. I went to the supermarket, I paid for quarter pound of cherry, but I really took half pound of cherry. Just illustration to drive the point home for children. I have it. But it is not honest. When you offer it, you are offering what you have stolen. That's the truth. And you are not going to get, no matter how sweet the melon is, you're not going to get the outcome you think you deserve. The last time, Rajan, before your eyes, there's an example of this. And this is where our discourse is tonight. To understand how people falter in prayer. Tonight in our discourse, we're not talking about Pandit. If I offer doob grass to Durga, what is the benefit? The answer why we just make the doob grass mala for Ganesh, when you have acid reflux or stomach imbalance with acid burning through your stomach, offer doob grass and you will get the healing. There are discourses like that. But tonight we're talking about truthfulness. In the eyes, in your family, Oh Janvijay, your great grandfather was Arjuna and the Pandavas, and they did great Rajsuya Yagna. They were great kings, very rich, very opulent, and they did huge amount of yagna. They gave gold as if it was the sun by the sea. Nobody complained. Everybody was given enough food. Krishna, that incarnation of Mahavishnu, walked in their presence and walked in their praise. However, not 3 months after the yagna was this gambling match that we hear about in Mahabharata. An extreme hardship befell these people that did this great yagna. Their life was negatively impacted. They lost their home. They were nearly burnt alive. Draupadi is nearly raped. But these people did great yagna. How is it that your grandfather, who became so wealthy in a moment, had to take off the crown from his head, walk out of his palace, and leave everything after all the prayers, after everything? And everybody says, God bless you, everything you want you get. And nothing, in fact, ruined you. They are supposed to be Satyabrat lineage. They come from great people. Draupadi, when this gambling match was happening, understand the predicament of this girl. How pitiful women are. In those days before sanitary napkins, the girls would be isolated when it is that time of the month. So there was a great court, and all the kings, all the boys are talking. The Pandavas are sitting with their cousins and they're throwing dice. Shaukani, the uncle, is planning and plotting to outsmart them. The enemy is your own. When you hear the saying, your own louse is biting the hardest. It doesn't be the stranger. The stranger don't know what you have. They don't care either. But your own belly is hurt you when you buy something, or you achieve something, or your child gets something. So in this case, Shaukani had made a promise to his father. If you ever watch the series or any movie, cartoon, whatever with children, you will see he always has the dice in his hand and he's blowing on the dice. Using Matangi Mata Yantra, he's calling that when he called for a number, his wish, Vachan Siddhi you call it, that his wish, what he say must happen. So when he calls 7 and he throw the dice, 7 must come. But that dice had a curse. His father was locked up in jail, to give you the backstory, and they decide to die. And he takes a piece of wood and he hits Shaukani in his foot, breaks the bone by his calf. And he says, Daddy, why did you do that? What did I do? I'm in the jail with you. He says, I never want you to forget what your family doing. His sister is married to the king that locks them up. So Shaukani now, with this lame foot, takes the bone of his father and makes the dice that you see them playing with, that Arjun is going to touch, Yudhishthira is going to touch. And with that sin that the entire lineage of this family that jailed them must fall when they touch it with, people talk about obia. But that spell, when you come into contact with it, you lose all sense and you do stupid things. So stupid, Yudhishthira say, I bet Nakul, Sahadev, Arjun, Bhim, I wagered them on the table. This is after all the land, all the money, everything gone. He lost his brothers, no problem. I bet my wife now. And the person he's against who want to kill him. So you sure you know you did? You sure? He says, yes, I'm confident I will win. And I'll win them all back, like any addict doesn't see the trouble. Bet Draupadi, lost Draupadi. Then bet himself and lost himself in that match. Meanwhile, everybody, the family, is smiling because you're doing it to yourself. How is it that these people who did all these great charitable things were so foolish and they ended up so destitute, so broken? Let's hear what happened in this next verse. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samsita Namastasye 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 Namo He says, in order to understand this, you must understand how prayers work when you're doing Devi worship. Sometimes people go to prayers with secondary motive. People who come to prayers purify themselves by that door with that Ganesh. That Ganesh serves as a guardian to the Yagna because bad thoughts enter through that door. Good, bad, and the ugly come to a Yagna. And you have to transform these people before they corrupt your prayer. You with your good heart and good mind, do your prayer. This could be by your home. This does not necessarily have to be this type of Yagna. This could be a puja where good things are going to be done, but somebody come basically to quarrel in your prayers. Or if somebody come to eat fresh in your prayers or drink liquor in your prayers and it turn up your prayers as they see. He lists here where different people, the Pandit came and the Pandit is saying in an example in somebody named Vishwakarma house, the Pandit is saying halfway mantra when this person, imagine two brothers doing prayers. This one, he don't like this guy. So this guy, he say Om Namah Shiv. You know the mantra, you go sound correct? Om Namah Shiv, Om Namah Shiv. But this one, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. But the Devi favored the first fellow. Because who was the truth? This Pandit is trying to manipulate the outcome. All you understand what I'm saying? Guide you wrong. Remember when you put your Pandit to sit and he becomes on the Bedi, on your altar, there's a shaligram that represents Lord Vishnu. This is where we wash with the Panch Amrit 5 liquid. What is in Panch Amrit? Milk, dahi, ghee, cane juice, sugar, and
Honey.
say that again. Milk, dahi or yogurt, ghee, cane juice or sugar, and honey. Panch Amrit. Because some people put tulsi as the 5th ingredient. That's why it's 5 liquids, Amrit. But when it finished, when they shared it for all in the audience, how you just call it? It have a next name. Chana Amrit, eh? Chana Amrit? Chana? Chana? Charan. What is charan? Charan is the correct word. The foot. from by the ankle to the toe. If somebody says, show me your charan, charan sparsh. Please bow to your parents, charan sparsh. Sparsh means to touch, charan, the feet. The logic is the little stone, usually black, there's one by the lingam there, you could see him. When you wash that form of Lord Vishnu, you are washing his feet by and large, catching back the liquid and now sharing this blessed liquid for the general public to drink. And that is what makes the transformation in this liquid. So it becomes, so now we understand Charan, Amrit, we understand what Prasad means, we understand what Guru means, we're going good. When these things were being done in the prayer, you have to understand the Shaligram is Mahavishnu, the Lingam is Lord Shiva, but where does Brahma sit in your prayer? The three of them have to sit in your puja. And the Pandit is the person who is Brahma. This is why you arti the Pandit when you have prayers. Not so much the person, but the purpose. He comes with the knowledge and the mantras. This person is going to sanctify your offering. For example, the Charan Amrit. But in this case, the person that is supposed to be Brahma is playing two-sided. He's playing untruthful. And for this reason, although the mantras were said to favor this person, Devi, who is the judge, favored the downtrodden individual. Let me go again. Sometimes there are people that we put in charge of preparing, let's say, what is going to be offered in the yagna. I use it myself. Somebody asked Pandit to make the prasad. It is well make man go nice babs. Please make it, and when you put in the suji and thing and you mix it in the recipe, say your prayers. Because when you say your prayers, they cook. Your prasad is come out nice. It is be enough. Everybody is get and everybody is be happy. Good. So when I went to make the prasad, this is a hypothetical, everybody. I wouldn't do this. I don't like the hostess. So I spit in the pot. People do these things, believe me, to hamper the outcome of another person's prayer. There are rules to cooking. Clean your kitchen first. For any mother here, if you don't practice that home, that is what your girl child is going to go into our next home, and they will ask, who trained she, boy? To clean the kitchen hard before you start to cook. If you have any health certification, if you have any training, that's just good practice. And in our prayers, in our dharma, everything that's going to offer in that puja start in that kitchen. Putting on your hairnet to make sure your hair don't fall in that prasad is easy. But let me ask a question. I'm using myself as an example again. For every elder here, with all respect, again they ask me to go and make the prasad, but I'm a female, follow me. And my monthly come, my belly spoiled. Am I supposed to go and make the prasad as normal? No, tell me seriously, if my belly spoiled, could I come and make prasad by your house? No. Please remember that. Please teach your girl children that. I've been to prayers where the opposite happened. And you'll say, well, that's natural. But please remember, the rule goes, it is not against women. What is the deal with the period? Please remember this. It is also natural to have diarrhea. It is also natural for a boy to bleed. You could get a cut. Or get a bad cold and mucus is running from your body. It says at the time of worship, what is uncontrollably running from your body, everybody understand me, we are all big people. You are unfit to offer Tarpan, Pinda, Puja. Therefore, if you see 5 people going round the box or the pyre in a funeral, if this guy, because it is make a big fuss about not going outside in the Jew, cover your hair so that he does not get a head cold. Because if he starts to run mucus, the pundit like myself would say, boy, you are not fit to do this prayers. Let the next one, number 2 of the 5, let them come in. If the boy eats something funny and he gets diarrhea, he cannot offer the pinda. If the boy, you tell him stay away from blade and they just have a cutlass, some people who just feel the dead man coming to eat the pinda, whatever, they'll just be walking with the cutlass in their hand. Don't let the boy hold the cutlass. Don't go and cut up to carry. Because if he slices his finger and he's bleeding, he cannot offer the pinda. So the rule of not being in control of your bodily fluid does not affect women alone. It's just for some reason we like to pick on girls. It also applies to man, and this is why in man we put different things in place in case the boy cannot continue like in the yard. They have somebody like a backup. When a person does this to interfere, there's a yard here. Oh, yes?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
But since you're on the topic,
Mm-hmm.
if the same girl is about to get married and that happens, what happened with the wedding? I'm sure they would like to know that.
Everybody hear that question? We have a sanskar, the wedding sanskar, the wedding ceremony is coming, and the girls' monthlies come. What is going to happen? This is why planning is paramount. If you have a simple, small, itsy bitsy, no crowd, no people, you're wearing a t-shirt and a sweatpants to hear the prayers, type of prayers. I love my Godfather, we cool as they say, and I am dressed like that. So it's a very, low-key prayers. Nothing fancy, nothing glitzy, no Facebook, if you understand me. And your period come, what do? Do the prayers, don't do the prayers. Oh, this is the gift. Waiting. Darshani is saying don't do the prayers. What all you would do? Don't do the prayers. That is the truth. It sounded rough because pundits so much are planning, but you didn't plan properly. What you planned was the hall, the decoration, the food, the audience, but you did not plan the prayers properly. Think about it. If somebody is going to plan their house prayers, they check. The female is supposed to check. The pundit will tell you, okay, for example, Purnima, today, Vishnu Puja. It's a good day, it's a wonderful day, it comes one day for the year. Catch it if you can. But if I am not fit to do the prayer, I can't do it. If I prepare poorly, if I have not fasted properly, if my body is not fit to offer the prasad, what will happen? This is a wonderful question, because we are talking about sattvic prayers, rajasic prayers, tamasic prayers. You are seeing the prasad in the hand. Watch it again, the prasad looks the same. Nothing is going to look different. The action is the same, but because you, the individual, are not prepared, you're not going to get the outcome you're looking for. So this is an example. People do the prayers. You see the flag in the yard. But my life, I'm waiting like I holding my breath, waiting for change to come. And it don't come. It is as if I am baking a cake. I put all the baking powder, all the coloring, but I didn't put sugar. But when the cake come out of the oven, I'm looking for sweet bread though. But when you don't put the ingredients in your prayer, what will you get out? Right? So there are rules. It is the same thing it's saying here. There are rules, you know it. There are rules to follow for prayer. But when you circumvent them rules, and you say, you know what? Baba ego no. Of course the pundit ego no. That's the last person that matters. Go ahead.
One more. I can be troublesome.
Talk in the mic so everybody could hear you.
Let me know. Quickly.
Nothing wrong with this. I have no problem with that question.
I'm just trying to clear so.
Talk now, boy.
people
Go ahead.
understand.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, in the cases, let's say my daughter is about to get married, and we want to plan it. So she will check whenever she'll be free. Period is not going to come. We'll have the wedding. But there's another obstacle. The obstacle is now we'll have to wait on the panchang or the calendar for what is called a lagan or auspicious day for the wedding. Suppose all the lagans in many years will be the time when my daughter will be having her period. Will she not get married? They will be asking this. What do we do then?
What you do there? There's where you get the difference between a day wedding and a night wedding. If you ever hear people get married 4 o'clock in the morning, odd hour. The ceremony I'm talking about, not reception. If you've ever heard somebody get married like on a Tuesday morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, because of medical reasoning, meaning a non-stop flow, 47 days long period, because these things exist. In a case like that, yes, you consult with your doctor first, to be honest, because there are medicine that you could use to help your body natural. Just as if somebody has a IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and in a case like that, they're afraid, I can't sit for prayers for the duration of the puja. I have a medical condition. So they take their meds, and in conjunction with that med, they do the prayer. So there are meds that a girl could take, one, in today's world. Secondly, from the side of the Patra, when you consult the Yagna, you look for the Yagna that nobody, what you are thinking about is a Yagna that is convenient. And that is the catch. Because you're looking for a Yagna on a Sunday, you don't want Saturday because that's a shunny day. A Friday, convenient weekend, people will be there. But in cases like this, what you're describing, this is where you take what you get because you want the auspicious time. So that becomes paramount. Do Monday, 4 o'clock, between 4 and 4:30, after or before Rahu Kalaman, Chandra Balaman, all these other parameters. Get through your prayers. Do what you want for your reception. That don't matter. Do the part where they walk around the fire in the best time, and you're good to go. But under no circumstance, you the person should cheat yourself by doing rituals under the wrong, let me say, starting point or whatever you want to say. Why would you do yourself that? And what he's describing is quite common. You wouldn't believe, and then you see divorce, and then you hear they can't make children, and oh God, Baba, somebody, well, do them obia. Obia that time, everybody just get obia, the neighbor pelting stone, line the tree, the root, the pot, everything. Truthfully, we just do ourselves obia too. We cause trouble in your life by doing stupidness. Yes, the pundit doesn't know. My mother wouldn't know. Nobody would know. But when that karma starts to wreak havoc in your life, and bad things do happen to good people, because of that full circle effect, it comes back, then you go want to know what to do. And unfortunately, things like that, very hard to fix. Because how you're going to undo what you did in a wedding? That is very difficult. Usually it leads to problem with children. Remember last time we talked about that? The children taught the sin that the parents make or commit. Lord Shiva cut off Ganesh Baba's head. Ganesh Baba is the innocent victim because of something Lord Shiva did. When Dashrath was doing his yagna, people banda about son-in-law. For many old people, a son-in-law is something you worship like a king in our dharma. We worship him, we feed him. Mother-in-laws, they will feed their son-in-law more than their daughter. That is just how we treat these great people that take care of our girl child. Dashrath, on the other hand, he does it different. He traps his son-in-law. In the beginning part of Valmiki Ramayana, Shringi Rishi is this Roman pundit that goes from place to place, freely giving knowledge, but he's not married. And he did not want to come to the city of Dashrath. But Dashrath is told by a good friend, a king, if you get him to do your prayer, you will get the son. He knows how to do the Putrish, the Yagna. But to get him to come, because you can't woo him with gold and money, he won't come. Try, make a deal, barter, find something. And Dashrath, the great king, you have to understand that Dashrath was a king of kings. He had many kings under him. He's an emperor. And what he did was, he got him married. Dashrath is not that he did not have children. The first child of Raja Dashrath is a girl by the name of Shanta. That is Sri Ram's big sister. And he had a daughter and he could not get a son to rule the kingdom. So he brings the son-in-law who marries Shanta, he brings that person and he says, please sit down and do the prayer and show me what to do. So that I could get my children. 1, 2, 3, the 4 boys are born subsequently. So you get somebody who is not supposed to do the prayers for you then, meaning to say, it is not appropriate by our standards and rules. But in this case, when done with the right attitude, the truthfulness of your intention, you are able to reap the reward. So then, Guruji, if these things are possible, what defect in the yagna that the Pandavas did that they had to go through so much of hardship? Imagine their cousins rob them with the magical dice, take all the property, take the wife, do everything, start a strip sheet. And you know the story? Where they hold Draupadi and they start to pull the clothes. And she calls out to Krishna, and Krishna makes that sari endlessly long. Somebody is trying to rape your wife. but you who put she there. It was literally as if they said rape her. She's on her monthly cycle, she's away, she doesn't want to be seen by the husband. And they go and they drag her. It says that when she's coming, her body fluid is marking the floor. Everybody big understand. And they start to pull off this clothes from this woman. And the 5 husbands stand there like lions without teeth, helpless to save their wife. Because of their stupidness. Because they were so foolish. Krishna begs you this year, don't lose your sense and go and gamble. Don't fall for that trap. It's a trap. And you disturb, that is my cousin. For every wife who have a husband like that. You ever hear that, Mr. What? That's my family. They may go do bad. Alright. Until Yagna, when done wrong, prayers, when you're doing that lady prayers and you are secretly being untruthful about yourself, your intentions, how you treat with the people, food or the prasad, in whichever way it is going to cause you to fall. Dancing around Durga is a nice thing. Belonging to she company is nice, but you have to come straight. You could have all the gold, money, prasad in the world, but you have a bent or a twisted character, you're going to get bent. The yagna that the Pandavas did, or Janvijay, they had too much of ego. They gave charity, but they gave the charity with a certain amount of abhiman, that I am better than you. I am more knowledgeable, I am more powerful than you. So when they gave it with that haughty way, it was ill accepted, and the same great grandeur that they did fall back on them. It didn't damage nobody else. The pundits were good, the bad guys were good, everybody in the city was good, but these politicians had to pay. They are run out of the city. They go and they live, and the place where they put them to live, the cousin done plan for them. They pack the walls, you know, you have your, let me say today's word, we say the concrete board. In between the board, they pack it with wax. And when they were sleeping in the night, light up the whole house. It melts. And they nearly die. If Krishna didn't save them, they was gone. When people come, and what is Sattvic prayers? Understand how to do it. Go and get the leaves. Go and get the right ingredients. In Sattvic prayers, there is not supposed to be any jutta or tasted food being offered. Rajasic prayers, people are very conceited, lustful, egotistical. The food is not cleansed and it is shared. Tamasic prayers, stale, spoiled food, rotting food, food that is given with anger, jealousy, wickedness or with wicked intention. This brings downfall. Had the brothers done their prayer with the right attitude, with humility, honesty, their outcome would have been a lot better. Prem Sabolo Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. Let's hear this last verse because I know I'm out of time. What he then says to his guru after listening to what caused the fall of his grandfather. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai 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 Ki Jai. Guruji, I've listened to everything you've discussed, and I accept that a son's duty is to save his parents from hell. That my father did make a mistake and it caused him his life. And I want to entertain this prayer for all the snakes that I damaged in my own life. Before I should suffer like my father, I want to be spared. Please guide me. Please tell me what to do. Show me who did it so I can understand how to prepare the baby, the offerings, how to dress, what colors to use, who did her worship. And just by listening to that, I know I am going to get blessed. The Guruji says, when you listen to what is our tomorrow night discourse, he says, your body which is made from the 5 elements, which is riddled by sin, this physical body, whatever is holding you back from making that mukti journey, that liberated journey, because bear in mind, if everybody here was blessed, we would have been with God. Pandit and everybody alike. We all have our burden of karma and sin to face. Some people are lucky, some people are healthy, some people are not. He says, when you do her worship and you pray for that salvation that you are praying for, your father will squeal from the depths of Narak, hell, I am free. Know that when you do her prayers, no matter what you are praying for, the impossible will become possible. But it takes a certain amount of churning. You have to be ready for her. If you go ill prepared, the same thing you are attempting to do, it will cause you more damnation. It starts with your mind, not the parsad in your tarya, not the money in your wallet. It starts with you. You are offering yourself. For this reason, Pandits go from home to home. For example, let's say Hanuman Puja. Road don't change. The color of the flag don't change. The Pandit mantra don't change. But check 10 people and see how many people say, yes, I do that prayer and I see my way. Not everybody. Plenty people are still waiting for blessing. And what's the difference? Because everything else is the same. Usually, correct me if I'm wrong, it is not what here. It is not this. This is serving the purpose. It's the hands that hold the offering. It have some people are bound to put all that mango by the Hanuman. Oh God, I could eat that. Griping, Gita says it. You're giving the prasad, but you're giving the gift, you're giving the dan. That Pandit the bound to get 2 pounds of dal back, get a man quota ounce. A bound, let me get real, a bound to give $5 in a cedar. I really have to pay that man that dollar for any RT. In a griping way you are doing it. Brother, do give it. Tonight as man, I'm telling you, if you cannot give something with a good mind, don't give it. It'll cost you more in the long run. Believe it. Tonight as we conclude, please understand, Devi Yagna starts with your heart and your mind. It starts with your heart. People focus on who is make patch parsad, suji parsad, whatever. I mean, everything have an importance, right? You want to look good, I agree. But in Devi Yagna, she is watching you, not what you have. As we walk closer to our Kargam and our big puja, this is an opportunity for you to straighten yourself before you meet your mommy. Because mommy is a devious character. Mommy, like your mother, I said it last time, I'll say it again. When you please your mother, you come home with the report card, Mom, I got an A, Mommy's going to make cake that day. But when you get the F, she'll drag a belt and she'll crack you until you get the A. That is Durga. That is the person we are worshipping. And you strive to please you, but how you please you, sometimes we get confused. And we you know, Pandit will put on nice mala and kurta and everything and feel Durga happy. Cover your body, she will be happy. But better than the clothes is the heart. Your intention. I could be poor and Durga love me. I could wear the same kurta from last week and Durga love me. But you could have one of the best kurta and have a nasty heart. I don't think she'll be happy with you. I do prayers for all type of people. I do prayers for husbands that cheat and sit down and ask the man, Baba, give me the power. Give me the power, God, to keep cheating and remember when I lie to say what I say. Because there are some people that take their bad habits, sit by the altar, do the prayer, and get up with all the bad habits. But when you go to pray, God bless you. We all make mistakes. We all have a history. We all have bad habits. We do. How about this time when you get to do your prayers? Because I'm not talking to anybody except you. Leave one bad habit by that baby. Mother, for you, this year, it's done. Mother, I will be honest in my marriage. I will be a better father. I will be a better devotee. I will be a more honest worker. I will try to talk to my sister or my brother. I will try to do better. Between me and my mother, I could do that. Other than that, you're fooling yourself. Because you're not improving. If he's a liar, if he's a cheat, if he's a smuggler, you go and you do your Durga Puja and you're still a liar, cheat or a smuggler, you will grow. Where the blessing is going to come in your life? What are you asking for God to continue to help you to cheat? If the child will go and pick up the book, will Mother Saraswati cut open their head and put the answers here magically? God help those people that help themselves. Baba belly very big. Baba, you exercise a little bit and don't feel Kali Mata coming in the night to take out some of that belly fat. It applies to everybody. It applies to everybody. And until you could see your weakness, you're not going to improve. You go to any type of counseling or any type of therapy, you have to own your problem. You have to see it. Otherwise, all we do is we sit down and we fight whether there's a problem or not. Whenever you do marriage counseling, I never do that. I did not mean I hate you. I just meant I hate how you just look. And you know, phonetics and semantics, and you're using words and you're fighting, but you're not dealing with the truth. Tonight, everybody, this is our second to last night, and we're getting close to hearing where John Vijay is going to be shown what to do. Many times we learn by what we see. Children learn from the examples that parents do. My father used to offer hawan so. When my mother do arti, she's the arti, not just the head of the murti, she's the arti, the whole murti. So the child emulates what they learn. Have you ever seen a child, okay, mommy used to make thin sada roti, but she come in to make fat sada roti? She don't know how to do that. All she knows sada roti is thin. Think about what I say. My mother used to tie a sari when she had prayer, so I learned to tie a sari. But when you have poor examples, well, the next generation is going to be poorly prepared. In this case, John Vijay's father left him at a very young age. He did not have the example of proper parents. So he's asking now, I don't have my father, that's my guru, that's my guide, I don't have that. But you are my Guruji, you are my Diksha Guru, you is the one giving me the knowledge. Give me it and I will be able to emulate. So he says, in tomorrow night discourse, show me so I could see how did this lay out the parasad, how did this put the diya on top of the kalsa, so I can understand how it's supposed to look, how the flowers supposed to look, how the leaves supposed to look. Then I'm going to understand how to do it properly. So this is done when you bring your children to Yag and you see how to sit for prayers, how to take part. If nobody never hold your hand and show you how to do arti, and somebody just bombard you by the door and say, listen, go in front and do arti, you know what to do? Baba, you never do that before. So a yagya is also something to teach, is a teaching moment. And when you learn and you teach your children how to do these little things that we sometimes take for granted, trust me, one day you will be the older one. And your hand will can't lift. And he will say, son, do the arti there for me now. And his son wouldn't say, well, I never do that. Me, I know about that. Me, I going to do that. But they understand when they were babies, like this little toddling one turning here, daddy holds and daddy arti all the murti. God bless this child, not one murti, all. But unfortunate for daddy, if he doesn't train that little girl properly, one day when daddy says, please take care of me, I'm feeling sick, just argue, carry me in the prayer room, go, I can't reach there because of how I come. And the girl says, I don't have time for learn all this stupidness. That's the kick parents get. But you know what parents tell me? Baba, not my children. Watch innocence. We are the children like that. But the sweetest child, when not given proper parenting, could turn out to be the biggest monster. Kans and Ravan were children once too. And if we fail to train our children, brother, prepare to fail. Because we end up in their hands one day. Principal Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ki.
Right.
So tomorrow night, everybody, in our final session, tomorrow marks the beginning of the month of Shravan. Officially, the Purnima closed off about 2 o'clock today. So tomorrow is with the rising of the sun, day 1 of the month of Lord Shiva. Tomorrow is his day. This Yagna, it was odd to do Yag Sunday to Thursday. But every day in this Yag had value. Today was Guru Purnima, tomorrow is Shravan, day before was how you call it, Pradosh, then it had the Vasudev, Dwadasi. Every day had something. So we used the auspicious time. It was not convenient. You know, if we had the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe we would have seen bigger crowds. But to be honest, as we were talking just now, certain things trump certain things. If I was studying, to be quite honest, let me talk straight. If I wanted a huge take in my RT, if I was studying dollars, then I would have said, no, let me do it when everybody will come. But if you are doing it to get the blessing of the Yag, then you do your prayers in the correct time. It is not convenient when you have work, I agree. And God bless each one of you who make it. It says a lot for you, you sacrifice a lot. But at the end of the day, remember where we started, the word Yagna means sacrifice. So maybe you did not charahavi, the prasad. But dear God, this little 5 minutes you give me, this 2 hours you give me, I could have been watching CNN, but I choose to give it to you, Krishna. That sacrifice has value too. So when you do it, and you start to see the reward, and just hinting where it came from. Prem Sabolo Adi Shakti Mata Ki. I hope tonight you walk away knowing a little more about Patra, what is a Guru, Prasad, and we did a couple of terms again. We talk about this monthly thing with girls and why we abstain during that time. And please remember, when you are in that monthly cycle, with all respect to every female here, you abstain from making those things that are going to be offered. It's different, it's a different time. So know what is to be done and what is not to be
Energy level is
done.
different also. The
Yeah.
energy level is different.
A devotee person to offer.
Hmm?
A devotee person to offer.
And devotee have Parsad to offer. Okay, so whilst we please, yeah, we have Parsad come in. If anybody want to charahavi, as we said, today is Guru Purnima. If you want to just do a little offering with Pujari, or you want to do a little arti, you could make use of it. If you've lost your father, your mother, your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, you could say a little prayers for them, because when you're getting married for the girl, your father-in-law and mother-in-law become your father and mother. You know, there's a saying. Somebody asked, well, if God is God, why we have louse and leech? Just remember this one. If the girl or the boy likes to embarrass the husband, abuse the husband, the wife is abusing the husband publicly to break him, or the vice. The husband is abusing the wife in public display. Husband and wife will correct each other, but in the bedroom quietly, with respect. But outside, you wouldn't know. Or you feel, I do get blows. Understand what I'm telling you?
I know.
Or you feel, I don't get blows. This is not fat, uncle. This is swelling after I get all my licks. The person who likes to embarrass their spouse in your next life, you are born as a lice or a louse. Based on your karma, take this birth. You become a pest on the head of somebody. You live like that, become that. This is not to say don't correct your spouse, you know. Don't embarrass your spouse. There are people who like to slap their wife in public, for example. There are people who like to spit on their husband and talk about sexuality for people to hear in public. That is what I'm talking about. There is a rule that says the girl or the boy, but more so the girl, that hurts damage, harm, insult, beat the mother-in-law and the father-in-law, in your next life you become a leech. The leech is the animal that sticks on, bursts the skin and sucks the blood, because you benefit from your husband family. You take the name, you get children, you get whatever. But the old people, after they sign over the land and think, well, look at them now. Whatever happened. And you treat them in this God forbidden, God forsaken way. But don't worry, what is daughter-in-law today will become mother-in-law one day. And when karma come back for you, don't worry, it'll come. Don't worry. When that mother-in-law cry on you and those salty tears drop on your shoulder, don't worry, it will come. So the time you're going to take to cry and give up your life in pain, every dog deserves the day, truthfully. Prem Sabalo Adi Shakti Mata Ki. Let's hear a bhajan. And then we'll have the parsad. If anybody want to come and do a little arti, again, it's Guru's night. Say thank God for your Gurus.
Does anybody want, if you don't have prasadam and you want to take a flower or make any offering, you can come up and do so now through Pujari or through Baba.
Pujari, Pujari will guide them.
Sitaram,
Sitaram.
Mother, Father, Brothers, Sisters, Pranam,
Pranam.
Vyasji. Wonderful katha for the past few nights. And I'm a truly devotee of Mahashakti Durga. And I know where I am today with her blessing from 9 years old. I start. And I will do a bhajan. Namaste se, namaste se, namaste se, namo namah. Ya Devi sarvabhuteshu, daya rupena sansita. Namaste sai, namaste sai.
Just like I'm
Namaste sai.
and get the blessing. Come to make our offering, so you're touching the air, and then you put one my mother and so on. Carry home some take show. Tomorrow, if it's one thing,
Durga
not your blood. The rest is for family.
Chalo re bhajan de.
Pray, Ma, I'm giving you this.
Durga naam kasme.
Thank you, Paji Vishnu. We're going to ask our brother here. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. No, I would like to know your name.
I want to know your name.
I want
Rajan.
Rajan. Oh, well, that's nice and easy. We're now hear from Paji Rajan, and after that, we have a little surprise just before Aarti.
दर्शन किए प्यासे किया दर्शन किए प्यासे किया लब पे तेरा जान है उस पार मैया जहाँ पे तेरा
that was really sweet of you, and it wouldn't be nice for me to say how nice that is if I don't know your name. But we have a little bit of a surprise item. Night after night, we have been having contributions with songs and the discourses and all of that. But tonight, Darshini wants to give us her presentation through a dance. So we're going to all give her our rapt attention. You have your song ready? Okay. Okay, so Darshini is going to entertain us now. We need to be out of the way. Ma'am, we need to be out of the way. Darshini is going to dance. We can do better than that. It might seem like but at her tender age, to present to us that form of communication through a dance, many of us would not be able to do it. So let's put our hands together again for Dr. for that contribution. And just before we go into RT, we know the nights are winding down. We're not going to have any more singing right now. We're going to go straight into RT. But Tanichi, I'll take this opportunity.
Give it a chance.
Oh, for sure.
No, Matt.
Matt. Thanks, Sherry. So we're going to have another bhajan from Matt. Yeah, we didn't hear from him for any of the nights. Thank you, son. We're always proud of you here, and you're getting better day by day. Panchai, hand you over for Arti, and everybody would join in the Arti. Those who didn't get to sing, this is your opportunity for us all to sing out to Ma.
Prem Sumulu Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. So Guru Mai handed me a note just now, and this is your homework for tomorrow, our last night. So on a night like tomorrow, to be in your Siddha. 1. 2. These are real questions. What will this fast from salt for? I understand meat and alcohol, is a contaminant in the human body. What is the deal with salt? Just a question. Tomorrow night we'll deal with that, but it's very important. There's a reason why we share salt food. We fast from salt. And we'll talk about the Siddha thing and salt tomorrow. So that when you give what's supposed to be given, the articles, you get optimum blessing. Because some of the things that we put, and I'm saying this not from the aspect, I am not your host Baba, but maybe your host Baba wouldn't, you might feel bad to tell you the truth. What I see in this aspect of the Siddha, because we're talking about that, I'm saying so that you would be able to get the best out of what you are having. Understand where I'm coming from, so I'm saying it with respect. So we'll discuss that tomorrow. So I don't know if Rajan will speak on behalf of everybody when we'll ask him to talk on behalf of everybody. Why do you fast from soda? As a Hindu, I'm not a Hindu. Why do you do that? You know, the Baba tell me to do it.
But on that note, before we get into RT, Babaji,
let us know now so we know what to bring.
the definition of fasting, and I know you've dealt with it earlier in your discourse. If you look, sometimes people argue that you look at fasting as something is abstaining from things that you're closely attached to.
She's saying that fasting is something that is you're abstaining from something that you are closely attached to.
Sensuous and otherwise.
Right.
So it's like.
I'm not
making
arguing
some-
with anything you say, but it have a reason.
Yes.
Everything we do it for a reason. Today we talked about why we sleep on the floor. So we are abstaining from something we like, I agree. But there is a reward for it, and that is what I'm getting at. So tomorrow night I will share that with you, so that when you do fast with your pundit or in another moment, you will understand why you do it.
And that's where the difficulty comes in sometimes for us as Hindus, and more so for the children, because some of our house pandits, as we call them, our house pandits, would tell you one thing, and then you sit with another leader, and you get different like days. So it becomes a little bit of a.
She's saying that simply, in my words,
Yes.
sometimes we have questions and we don't get answers. We do things and we don't know why we're doing it. But this is why we elected in the temple to do Gyan Yagna. Gyan Yagna means that this yagna, where we do puja, we coming together, is for the purpose of getting knowledge. So maybe in it, you felt as if, wow, Pandit is throwing out so many things. Oh my God, this is overloaded. But it is the knowledge we're trying to get out in the few days that we have. Prem Sabalo Adi Shakti Mata Ki.
Jai.
Everybody, with all respect, let's all stand as we do final arati. We'll do a short, just 2 minutes. Sajam cha varti sanyuktam grahena yojitam mayam deepam grahana devesam trailokya milapam
जग जननी जय जय ओ माँ जग जननी जय जय वरहारिणी भवभामिनी जय जय ओ जग जननी जय जय ओ माँ जग जननी जय जय वरहारिणी भवभामिनी
With one voice, everybody. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Vandusha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Prem Saloma Pati Mahadeva Ki Jai पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, श्री आदि शक्ति माता की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, जय जय सीताराम. सीताराम, everybody. Please have your seats as Arti, Panchamrit, Prasad is going to be coming, and we remind you to please have something to eat before you leave. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you for your listenership. Sitaram.
प्रेम से बोलो व्यास महाराज की जय.